Hello and welcome everyone. I'm C.S.Gilmore and this is PowerWash Simulator. Got a little bit of quiet at the moment while the kids are out on a walk with Grandpa and Grandma. So, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of this in recorded. I may have to fish up later, but we'll see. Dirt Finder. I've got a frankly ridiculous situation on my hands. You see, some of the local children have been coming down with a curiously unsightly form of dermatitis, and a few fretful folk have been putting it down to the condition of the recreational facilities. It's all nonsense, of course, but if we could just humor them and give the whole thing a thorough hose down, I would be most grateful. Uh, yeah. Yeah, about that. Also, I'm a little curious how this place is so quite this filthy for something that is outside. Oh, well, I thought that was normal wood coloring, and it was just a bit dirty. I didn't realize that was dirt colored. Yeah. How? Okay, a bit of dirt on this makes sense, but like, how is it this grimy while being outside, where it should get rained on, right? Basically, nature's own washing system. Yeah, maybe they're like in Utah, where they, or like the Utah Provo Valley area, the Salt Lake Valley, Provo Valley, wherever. That area anyway has some inversion issues due to the mountains. So like the first few minutes after it rains, actually just makes everything dirtier due to pollution catching in the area, in the air. It's bad. Very, very bad. But like, even then, like after a few minutes, it still clears out. So that doesn't explain why this is all the way it is. I have to try to get in between the crevices of these boards. Ah, good. Thank you. Okay, we've got a ladder. We've got that. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So we're gonna have to get that whole mess. Let's start off with these little things for the moment. But seriously, I'm pretty sure most of these places should be cleaner than this just naturally from exposure to the elements. So what are you people doing to this place to get this bad? Also, once again, the ground in between sucks. Like okay. Now I'm not saying like playgrounds are always clean. I mean, you still gotta watch out for all sorts of stuff. They do get nasty, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, playgrounds seem to be a common place for druggies to leave needles, and I don't know why that is. Like, why would you leave needles in an open public place like that, especially where kids are involved? That's my own thing, I guess. Why is that here? But seriously, there's better places. If you're gonna be doing drugs, do it somewhere else. Where you aren't going to be wrecking some kid's life possibly because of your bad habits. Really weird that this is like got some odd coloration to it. It then fades off into black as it dries. But it looks very bright otherwise. Alright, I'm missing something on this thing here. Where am I missing? That's right there. Okay, Apparently was inside. Yeah, when the entire playground just goes warning, everything is covered in grime. But no, this is not okay. Druggy problem, leaving needles around issue. This is what exactly is going on here issue with this playground. This playground is just, I don't even know what's going on. Bad though, whatever it is. Definitely needs cleaning. Alright. Feels like this place got dirty real quick too, considering how nice the paint is on these things underneath all the grime. Suggests to me that they got painted probably recently, and that would mean the dirt and garbage and everything came in after, which is worrisome. Let's look at the scenery around us real quick. Got a place over there, walkways. Yeah, nothing else here is dirty, just this place. Yeah, pretty sure that should not be that color. Looks like someone purposefully spread mud and garbage on all of this. How else would you find mud on them? Wait. Our friend, the guy who is recommending us to everyone, his parents say he was a volcanologist, as in studying volcanic stuff, I believe. Unless I'm misremembering what volcanologist, or what that stands for. But, so what if this place recently went through some volcanic activity, and so everything's covered in junk because of, soot and other junk falling from the sky? Could that be it? Just a theory. Because none of this makes sense. Of course, that still also doesn't make sense for why only certain spots are dirty and other spots are, well, spotless. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how much of a story this game has, if any. Probably very story-light, but what will be the story of this game otherwise, so... The Stego Slide. I like the name for that. That's actually a cool name for a toy here, the Stego Slide. Next question is, can we slide it? Can we slide down it? I don't know. Let's get some clearance of all this grime first, and we'll work our way up the stairs. Get some pretty good grime. Of course, I'm well aware that the ground around the thing is also filthy, like the platform it's on, however, is also filthy. I'm not ignoring that. I'm just not focusing on it this second. Something hid little Easter eggs and stuff in any of these. Our first mission, the one with the van. I did a replay of it because it turns out you can't replay it in career, but if you go to free play, you can you don't earn as much money on them, but you can just redo old missions if you want to. I did learn that. And I just checked it out, and I realized the van, there's a gnome we can pick up, like a lawn gnome, on a table there. It's the same gnome that's in the thumbnail for these videos. And, yeah, I'm curious if there's some hidden achievement or something, or Easter egg that I don't know about currently. It has to do with some of these excess items that we could interact with. Because it seems weird that there would be a random node that you can just pick up. I know nothing about this game's oddities yet. This place is nice. No, I'll look at that. Can we go down the slide now? We don't slide. It's sad. It's a sad. Alright, let's get this side next. And then we'll worry about going underneath this thing, because I imagine we'll have to get its underside as well. But really, let's face it, the important part would be the upper portion first, since that's where most of the kids are going to be coming in contact with it. So, also, a lot of kids are probably going to go underneath just for fun. So, both sides are really important, but the upper portion is, I would say, the priority. It's purple. Makes me think of Barney. With this purple and yellow the way it is. Man, I haven't watched Barney. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. I don't mean like a few years. No, I mean like, oh boy, how old was I even back then? Single digit long time ago. Let's look at the ground under here while we're at it. Ooh, I would hate to be actually crawling on this ground though, with how nasty this is. Looks like this place is made out of a lot of that rubberized matting. Like, this here looks like that rubberized stuff that is a little springy, but is mostly solid. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a long window. Large red floor, small blue floor. Oh, they broke it up into sections. That's funky. Instead of just being playground floor, it's little pieces of it. I do like this new power washer, by the way. Its pressure system seems to be pretty good. I wonder how it would work in a slightly larger nozzle. Would it have enough pressure to still work? Kind of? Yeah, looks like it. That makes it worth the, what, $900 we spent on this power washer compared to the original one. Just because that is a lot less time and effort we have to put into everything if you can even cover a little more ground at night, while still getting similar or the same results. Green floor circle. Like I need to get underneath the other side. And I forgot once again to turn on team mode. I just realized. Sorry about that. I've only probably be motion sick from all that. That's satisfying. That is weirdly satisfying. Yes, the stego slide is cleansed. Now we cleanse the rest of this place. Okay, that came clean a little sooner than I thought it would. Floor edge. And yellow. Alright, so we got the edge of this whole thing and this yellow. Look at that. And get both at the same time since they're so interconnected. Pretty good there. Red as well, looks like. Large red. Guessing this one's called the large red core because it goes in between a bit of everything. We back up faster than we move forward. Well, maybe not. It's hard to tell. Quite big. Gonna go and stroll back and forth along this. I'll have to do the outer edge of this whole thing probably as well. Like from the outer reaches of it to get to the side part of it. But first, let's get this. I think this floor edge also covers the entire, okay, we definitely have to get an outer angle on this to get this tidy. That is very dirty. I think this floor edge also just goes around the literal entirety of this place. So it's going to be a big item, even though it's a smaller, thinner setup. Definitely going to be big. Okay, the pressure does not hold up well at this distance still, but at this distance, it's about good. There we go. One part down there. Next up, let's get this. All along here. I think we're about done with this corner of the playground. There we go. Let's move along here. Look along the seam. Edge of this whole flooring setup. It'll take us too long to transfer it. A little hard to get the edges here because of the angling of it having to go up against the fence. another good. This looks like it would be a fun playground if it wasn't a trash heap of decaying sludge. I mean, it's a little minimal, I guess, as far as some playgrounds go, but... Did you hear that the mayor's cat Elisis is... The mayor's cat Elisis is missing? The whole town is on the lookout for him. In time for the festival, we won't have spring till he's put that hat on. Okay, so small town sounds like with a... To be honest, if I had to wear that hat, I'd go with a cat that the mayor owns that apparently have a custom of being a hat put on it, or it's considered, yeah, totally normal. That makes me wonder if the cat is visible from around here anywhere in the playground area. It would be funny just going along and just look up entry and there's the cat going. Yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Yeah, I kind of like this, being able to go back and forth on this, like this, blast a big pile of it. Get the angle. If we get the angle right, then we still cover a good, like the maximum of the sprayer level with enough pressure that we can just hit it all while we go in line. Back up. Yeah, that's pretty satisfying, actually. Not that this is a relaxing thing to do, even though it's basically clean. It's kind of nice to be doing this as a break from actual cleaning. If that makes any sense. So, keep looking, I can just click the right mouse button and have it just keep spraying. As long as I don't push anything else. Alright, another section done. Large red. I think I'm seeing why the red floor is considered the large red floor. It looks like it similarly goes around just about everything. Kind of a cool design. I don't think any of the local playgrounds we have around here go anywhere like in this direction of fancy. They're all very... I think you get some greens and browns. Maybe some gray as well. Nowhere near this level of color. Okay, so that's the maximum reach. Got it. I'm just curious. Also, I took a look at the challenges in this game, and it's like, yeah, go back to old areas and try to do it in a minimum amount of water used. And you get like a gold, bronze, or silver, depending on if you use a certain amount of water or get it done in a certain amount of time. If you don't hit the minimum for the bronze, you just have to start over. So challenge modes are actually challenging. I tried one. Like I got this close to getting one of them done, but I didn't quite get it done in time. I'll have to keep practicing to be better at doing these in a timely fashion in order to make that work. These things, what do I call them? Roundabouts. These things are a lot of fun. Also horribly problematic. The number of times I've made myself completely sick riding on something like this. Oh. But it was always fun. There we go. Now we gotta get this underneath it. There we go. There. Still a lot. These pipes are oddly one of the most difficult and annoying because you have to hit them from so many angles. So it's weird that they turned each handlebar into a separate item. There we go. Roughly feet, everything there is done. I am kind of dreading being this whole setup. Like the way they broke these up into pieces they did. It gives that edge of satisfaction. It keeps the satisfaction coming with while you're doing it, because you actually feel like you're making progress more so than just completing it if it was one kind of piece. That's a good move as far as it goes. Okay, wait, is that wood or metal? Okay, with how it was reflecting the light there all wet, it made me think it was a metal piece for a bit, and it's like, ooh, that was a weird color. There we go. There. And along here. Okay. kids aren't here right now. They're out, okay. Yeah, they went out with Grandma and Grandpa to go walk the dogs. Well, except for Bandy. Bandy's here. They're walking Grandma and Grandpa's dog. And it's not like Bandy doesn't get to walk on a pretty regular basis already. Monkey bar ladder is still some. Alright, well, my wife's got some stuff to do, so I'm going to end this here for the time being. I think the kids are back anyway, so I will cut this for now and come back later. I think if I push this button, it saves it. And there we go. Bye! Hello again, everyone. Okay. It was, it's now much later in the day, but I'm back. Okay, yeah, this extra wide nozzle cannot handle anything other than basic slime. I am finding it does work pretty well for just covering a larger area for hitting the bait. So, I think we'll use the extra wide nozzle to speed up this floor cleaning, at least for the time being, until we can get a better idea of what's where, and we'll use the heavier, well, the smaller nozzles to get the lighter stuff off. This place is really colorful once you get clean. This is a very colorful playground. That distance seems to be about where I want it. For the level of clean I need to be able to just do a strafe for most of it, and then I'll have to do a little catch up on the heavier spots. Not bad. Perfect. A different red one? Small red. Okay. Wasn't part of the big red. Yeah, that whatever that is definitely not coming off as easily. It looks like maybe a grease of some sort. Not sure. Okay, it doesn't look like grease, it looks more like funk, but... Yuck. Either way, yuck. Multi-purpose. Oh, okay, it's saying that... Oh, that's cool, I didn't realize that. Up in the top left there, it says multi-purpose. Meaning this area might be cleaned better if I use a multi-purpose cleaning solvent on it. I would try to get some of that stuff off. This other stuff is all wood. Okay, that's interesting. Of course, if I were to use, say, one of those solvents, I'd have to go back to my weaker power washer, because this current one I don't have the attachment for chemical use yet. I don't think it makes enough of a difference for me to care just at the moment. That is some very non-ropey looking rope. Very looks like wood or plastic instead. That said, I could totally see a playground doing that. Just making it look like a netting, but it's actually just a plastic ladder, basically. Maybe the first time I've seen you do stuff like that with this sort of thing. Oh, son, this is so dirty. Yeah, I don't think I'd let my kids play on this. But everything on hold, my golf buggy's spoiled like you wouldn't believe. Mayor Jefferson. Doc gave your details to a colleague who needs a hand with her new place in the suburbs. It's the old death place, so I hope you don't get spooked easy. Death place? What? Alright, sounds like we're getting some interesting jobs after this. I think something I read was that for the basic game campaign, there's 20 locations and 18 vehicles. And then we've got a number of DLC as well, so we can do a lot with this game. I don't have all of the DLC, but I've got a few that came with like the bundle I bought this with, and then I bought the Warhammer DLC because why not? But they have a lot of DLC for this game for various things. There's Midgar, like Final Fantasy VII Midgar. There's Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and then there's also SpongeBob SquarePants of all things. Santa's Workshop, various seasonal things, like they have a Halloween one or two that for this year that are still available. And there's all sorts of others that they have. They have a Wallace and Gromit one. I don't know how many of you know Wallace and Gromit, but I don't know how popular it currently is with most kids. But it was a big thing for a while, and my kids really like it. So I think it's still going pretty strong. Clay animation type deal. Crazy adventure type guy who's also kind of dumb otherwise sometimes, and a very intelligent dog that is trying to deal with everything. It is basically his partner for work and everything else that they have fun adventures. They go to the moon, they go when it's actually made of peas. Things like that. They have a lot of interesting adventures. It's a lot of fun for kids. And just in general. Plus they usually have some really good humor. They did one where it was they basically made fun of every sci-fi film created. But they did it in a good way, if that makes any sense. Like they do homages to a bunch of various movies and shows, novels. One of those shows that I would actually really recommend for people to look up if you aren't familiar with it. It's worth it. Oh, Curse of the Were-Rabbit is really fun also. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Guess who's responsible for the were-rabbit? Yeah. Certain someone, crazy inventor dude, who might have accidentally turned himself into a were-rabbit. But all sorts of hilarity ensues with those shows, and yeah, they make a lot of fun things. Oh, this place is so filthy. We're covering most of the ground now. That's all the heavier spots. That's a heavier spot. Okay. I think I need to make a swap over here soon to the other nozzle and really get down on some of these areas that just aren't coming clean with this widest nozzle. Even if it is helping me cover the zone pretty quick in the general sense, it's just not cutting it for the heavier chunks. Not that. Okay, let's swap back to this one because I feel like that's the best bet for this heavier section. It's coming along nicely. Hard to tell what's in between the boards and what's above it. I can see through the board, or well, it looks like this stuff is actually just in the crack, which is ew. Makes sense though if it was seeping through whatever this stuff is. So much better. Down so I can get under the lips of these things here. Feels like a job that would probably get taken care of by more than one person. Like, really. This is a bigger playground section. Like, no, it's not a huge playground section, but it's so dirty that it just needs so much attention. Alright, that does a nice job on most of this. Slide, I guess, or step, whatever this is. And I guess it's right here. Get underneath it while we're here, just because it's a good angle for it. Much better. Three boards. Stuff is Okay. These are very vibrant colors. I wonder how long that would actually last in your life, though. With these materials, like, I imagine they would get daily exposure to the sun, so you probably get a bleaching effect over time. Besides general wear and tear. I wonder how long this sort of vibrancy and material would actually last. Part of me thinks it probably doesn't last nearly as long as you would like. It'd be nice if it did in some ways, because it is a nice color. This would be a good playground when properly cleaned. Good old monkey bars. I think I've gotten worse at them as I've gotten older. Used to be pretty good at them as a kid. Now, yeah, not as much. I can still do them, but a little bit of arthritic problems with the hands makes it a little less comfortable to be hanging from my wrists for long periods of time. Or to have to grip something very tightly. Okay, just portion like that. Oh, that is so much better looking already. Quick check over here. Did I miss anything there? Looks like we're good. Strange. Should be able to get these. Get the monkey bars clean. I'll try to get them from above as well. This should get the majority of it. Alright, time to test. Okay. Can we climb? Oh, we kinda auto-climb some of this. It's a little weird though. Doesn't quite work the way I would like. Once again, as this game goes, it makes me want to kind of do. It tends to lead to me doing things from the ground up. But in reality, I'd want to go top down because of how dirt actually flows. Also, this entire area would just be filthy after all this. If this much is coming off of these buildings, like, I'd have to go make more than one pass over everything probably just to get it all clean. And then the surrounding ground would still be nasty until it probably rinsed out itself a few times. What is that? Climbing tool? Okay. Interesting design. That makes sense, I guess. Almost like a fancy ladder. This is the extraordinary Dr. PowerWash. We got your details from Cal. We've got a dirty old house in need of some skills. Apparently everyone's being old. I still wonder why they use this fancy pan shock absorbing rubber compound for the playground flooring and not good old fashioned Trio soap. I don't know. Well, I imagine this stuff is a lot more comfy to fall on. This rubberized ground. Though at the same time, it's probably still smart, depending. Especially on how fast you're moving. Alright, let's focus on finishing up out here a bit more before we go into the structure itself or onto the structure. Like, properly. Probably not doing this the most efficiently, but then the name of the game isn't PowerWash Efficiency, it's PowerWash Simulator. It's a pocket of nastiness in. Get under here while I'm down here. Oh, you can't see it. There we go, making some progress. I hope it don't make me have to really carefully go between all the woods, because that is a lot of the crevices. There's going to be a lot of jumping. They do a pretty good job with the textures, I think, in this game. Like, making the wood seem like wood, most of the time at least. And the metal have a metallic look to them. Plastic. Like, this looks like rubber, which is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a rubber compound, it's chlorine. And they actually captured that, which a lot of, like, could easily be done wrong. Yeah. That one done. Alright, we're almost done with round. A few more spots. Slide is nasty. Makeshift bar tool set up here. Kids want to play like they're running McDonald's. other angle. There we go. Now we're down here with this bell. Why is this so satisfying? Nasty on the bottom of some things. That's like if it was on top of everything, sure, it makes sense. But some of the underneath of these is just like, how? Definitely feels like someone purposely came in here with like a gunk blast or nuked the place. Which I guess makes sense for, you know, the aspect of creating gameplay. But like, just designing a world lore or something, it seems a little funky. I kind of wish I could see the water running down the slide. That'd be kind of cool stuff. But, yeah. Okay, we got that. Which part of this place are we missing on the ground? So, hope you guys all had a good weekend. My weekend has been very busy. Today we celebrated my birthday a bit early because just how it worked out with the Dean family together. We also are celebrating Mother's Day today. And so we had a lot going on with all that. I taught a lesson at church. The kids went on a walk with Grandpa and Diva earlier, like you guys heard in the earlier recording of this. We call them Diva and Oompa. So I guess I should clarify that. I said Grandma and Diva, or Grandma and Grandpa earlier for ease of comprehension for you guys. So for us, we call them, Diva and Goompa, because Grandma and Grandpa are my wife's parents. So Diva and Goompa are my parents for the kids. We have a way for them to differentiate. Works out pretty well. Plus there's a bit more family story-wise to that, I suppose, but that's real. There is a spot. Those nastier sections. So we're gonna start getting those done. It on this little lower underneath. I do like that each item has its own little bars. You can kind of look at it and go, okay, which item is missing a piece still, and they can narrow your search down. Combined with be able to locate things via the tab to make all the dirt glow orange, it really helps with hunting down the worst of everything. Yeah, this is a nice looking playground, but it's not covered in grime. Here, there's some fish up the ground. Almost done. Of this yellow circle is probably inside of this sector here. And get still. That part. I remember these games. I didn't even realize here it's so covered in grime. Oh, it's a tic-tac-toe game. Seen that in 2 playgrounds. Pretty common design, I guess. Makes sense, I suppose. It's easy to do. Stick some spinning plastic boxes on a metal tube and all good. Definitely just got the green part finished up there. There we go, yellow's done. And blue's done. Nice. That's it for the blue. Now I gotta get the tricky parts, which are all the part I've been putting off kind of because I know it's gonna be a pain. All of this wood, on the upper portions especially, is going to be a real pain. You have to get the ladder to get the roof probably. I said this is still so much easier than it would be in real life. It'd be so hard to clean. I would hate it. And I've done some pretty intense cleaning in my time. One time let's see, working early morning custodial, I was one of the people that could be trusted to run the big floor cleaning Zamboni type machine. Because I could be trusted not to crash into walls constantly and or fall asleep at the wheel and, yeah. You know, the things you're not supposed to do while driving heavy machinery. So I can say, I can not really blame those people that do fall asleep driving those things back, because if you're going back and forth, say over a deep floor, it gets very, you don't move much, you're mostly just steering, and it wears at you. Good. That was a piece of wood there. Alright. Good. But also, so yeah, I've done a lot of those type cleaning over some large areas. I also was with the cleaning crew for a good while during my college experience, and I actually got to work with our supervisor to wax some of the bigger hallways. Let me just say that takes a while. Also, you get to learn where all the weird divots in the floor are, like where the foundation isn't solidly flat, because you put down all this wax, and then it just oozes down into puddles, which is not the best time when you're trying to get things done, and yeah. Not a fun time in those cases. Still, I definitely preferred the waxing the floors over the pulling bubble gum off of things. College students, you think they should know better, right? Sticking gum on everything. Bottoms of chairs, bottoms of desks. Ugh. We had little cans of, what was it? CO2, something like that. We'd freeze the gum so that it would be harder and not sticky, especially if it was fresher. And then we'd get a screwdriver and chip it off. That was the only way to get some of those chairs and desks clean. If you were one of those people, shame on you. Who puts the gum all over those things? Yeah, shame on you. Every one of those classrooms had a trash can in the classroom. Just hold on to it until you can get rid of it properly. Wrap it in a piece of paper, tissue, anything. Don't stick it on the bottom of your desk. I will say I was very happy though never to work, like the building I worked in was the sports gym building, and we got off a little easy. We didn't have to deal with the sports equipment. They had their own cleaning crew that worked with the sports equipment. And all the exercise equipment and everything, yeah, that was all someone else's problem. Thanks. I don't know when they found time to clean those things anyway, because the gym, basically, anytime the building was open, there was someone there. Now, there was while I was in college, it's no longer new, because I haven't been in college in a while, but at the time, there was a new building that they made for the technology building, so, like, think, computers and programming, stuff like that. The poor souls had to clean that up. It had floor-to-ceiling windows, sometimes, in some areas, sometimes like up to a second story. And, yeah, as a part of the janitorial crew, you gotta wipe down windows, get rid of fingerprints, and make sure everything looks nice. I do not envy those poor souls that probably have to daily scrub those windows down. Because people constantly touch the windows. Even if they're not, like, the little kids, you can kind of be like, okay, Crusette is fungicidal, deep and just an absolute joy to pour. Admittedly, it is also profoundly toxic to humans when ingested swings and roundabouts. What? That might be why they didn't use it on the playground, you know? Highly toxic for kids. I bet there's a playground out there, or at least used to be. Or they went, oh yeah, gee, this is bad. Kind of like how we used to use asbestos and everything, and then we realized, oh gee, this is bad. For lungs and other things that, you don't want to have fiberglass in. Alright, progress. Bet you didn't think you'd be getting a whole feel on janitorial duties and people being pigs. I can tell so many stories. Bathrooms? Oh. We'd have to clean those things at least once a day. And men or women, didn't matter, the bathrooms had to be clean. And, oh yeah. We had to scrub those things down pretty well just to make sure they were all good. And then every once in a while, I forget whether it was once or twice a year, more or less. I want to say maybe twice a year, we get heavy duty chemicals and shut down a bathroom and foam clean like all of the tiles. You had to be careful though because like these were pretty nasty chemicals, so it's like, okay, no one splash it on anyone, no one get it in your eyes, or well, do the medical wing. You didn't get that washed out right away. We had to do so much cleaning just to maintain basic sanitation. So I guess I could see like a building or something like this being this dirty under certain conditions. But it would basically require no one to clean them, these places, for like possibly years. And it would also require probably, no rain keeping to wash them off. So honestly, I don't know how you get some of these areas as dirty as they did, as I mentioned before. Okay, almost got this. Power roof, yeah. We got the inside about done. I just put the out, yep. Another piece. So satisfying when these little bits just go like that. You're just like, yes, done. Cleanse. Oh, each of these separately. That's nice. I'm missing a piece here, yeah. Am I missing you? It's down the bottom. Where else have we missed it? Alright, so I'm gonna have to go back through these from below probably. See all these little bits. So that's another bit done. Yeah, there's a few of these there just not adding up. But I see. There you are. Okay, maybe not. Now I'm gonna have to get a ladder up here to get these all done right. I would hate to do that. I am not a fan of heights in real life, so yeah. No, thank you. Would not want to do that. 97%. I think we're mostly down to a few of these roof bits. This was a bigger project, for sure. I do like that. I kind of like that in some ways, though, because they did make so I can just come back to it, no problem. So there's no real shame in, oh yeah, it's a big project, you may have to come back in multiple cities. Oh no, but you can. So it's not going to, you don't have to keep trying over and over again. That's a nice touch. And then add on to that the fact that they put enough in there to do that makes it kind of nice, because I mean, you know, they didn't keep out and just do little teeny tiny levels where you're just doing a room or something like that all the time, where you're not getting your money's worth. This one, it feels like you're getting your money's worth out of it. Should experiment with the cleaning solution soon. I want to at least get this power washer to be one that we get solutions with, just because I don't want to get them and then just waste them using a lesser power washer, you know what I mean? Admittedly, this isn't the best power washer, but it's probably the best one I'm going to get for a while, just because of how expensive some of the others are, and the starter parts. Alright, there's that bit. All of these are pretty dirty. I bet I mixed the outer portion. Didn't get this texture clean on the outside as I did on the other bits. Done as well as I can. Kind of funny, like, look at this. You can, as it goes on with the water, you can see the wood pattern. But then as it dries, the wood pattern disappears. Funky effect. Kind of like it, but at the same time, it is a little weird. Another bit though. go. Yeah, a bunch of these are dirty on the outside still, looks like. I think it's time for us to head down. Get the ladder. See what we can do with this thing. Where will let us set? Right here? Okay, that's kind of nice. Probably not want to stand on top of this, but maybe the first option. Like that, give our game mode for a bit there. Like activated it. There. Oh, that's perfect. Alright. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Ooh. Aha! We did it. Do not try that at home. Real life, that would be a very bad idea. Go. Good job. Can I clear this with a jump? Maybe? Let's try it. I can! Okay, I forgot how floaty the jump is. I was worried I'd overshoot it there after I actually did the jump. Done. Moving right along. To get this one from like, or not. There we go. Probably cheated the system a little bit there, but we did it. Now. Alright, let's go get our ladder. Whee! We're not as close as I was thinking we would be. I say that only because it hasn't given me the free checkpoint for the final item yet. So there's something more than this route. Oh, I see. In there. Definitely missed the spot. Just that when running or I'm not sure if the latter, but at least running disables the aim mode. Almost got the roof stuck. Now roofing, I've done some roofing in my time. Not one of my favorite things, as I mentioned. I'm not a fan of height. But if needs must, I can make myself to some extent or another. But no. I prefer not to on many levels. Especially a roof like this high up and this steep, no. Not a fan. Alright, let's go back on this side. Work on the seeds of our section. Come on, we're almost done. I know it's hard. Where's my ladder? Let's get over here. My card is still dirty. There we go. Alright, now we come to the tricky part of hunting down the remaining portions. Okay. Again, missed an area. So... on 99% for a while. What's that one? I'm gonna have to get the ladder. Nothing over there sticking out. What are we missing? Climbing pole guards. Tower floor undersides. Alright, there we go. Climbing pole guards. Tower support. One of these support struts. Alright, where are you? Seriously. And 2 tower trims. That's the strat. Where are you? This building? Ah. Done. Okay, tower trims. What counts as a trim? These? Okay, this is where it's a little tricky, because it's like, what exactly does it mean? Where are you? I wonder if I should change the color. Give me 1 second. If I go to here, options, graphics, where is it? Default orange. What if we change it to something else? What would work out better? White? Would that be more visible? Tower trims. Flat floor guard. I am missing something. I have no idea what here. Figuring it must be some pretty small piece of something I've already mostly cleaned. Otherwise it'd be showing up a lot more, obviously, than it currently is. They're probably right next to each other. Alright, that's another way to go about this. Just blast everything and hope I hit it. Ah, trim. Okay. So it's down along the bottom. We finally got an idea where. There we go. On these. More to go. Where are trim you. Okay, that was a little tricky to find those last bits. But we got paid big time for this. Phew. Yeah, let's not redo that one again anytime soon. Career mode. What have we got now? Clean the detached house. Let's not do another big one tonight. Let's do the golf cart. I need you to clean my sorry golf cart. You might have heard about my poor cat Elisus going missing. We're all frantic with worry, what with the ceremony just around the corner. I swear I saw him on the golf course, frolicking on the lily pads in the lake by the 13th par 3, but I always get a birdie. By the time I realized it was just a boisterous carp, it was too late. I slammed on the brakes and went tumbling down the slope head over tail. Don't worry, docs have given me the all clear, said they'd never seen anyone recover from such a minor incident in so little time, but the cart needs a hose down. Okay. Well, start job. What if we're gonna get a mission where we're gonna find this cat? Like, seriously. You're hanging out in a corner, are you? Actually, this is our place. The gnome is here now. Look at me. Alright, well, looks like this won't be too bad of a job, because it's fairly small things, but wide enough pieces that it shouldn't be overly drawn out trying to get all the nooks and crannies. Like the motorcycle, it was just so many little tiny pieces everywhere, it was so hard to get them. Golf cart, yes, it is. It is in fact a golf cart. Not any golf cart, the mayor's golf cart. Man, I've driven a golf cart before. It's kind of fun. They're not too bad. Easy to steer, easy to move around. They don't go too fast, but they don't go too slow either in a lot of cases. Nice balance all in all. And you do want to be careful with them. Usually there's some golf employee type and they don't like if you misspeak their equipment. So always treat their equipment with respect, drive safely, that sort of thing. That said, I really can't recommend golf as a game. It's so boring for the most part. Even if you're playing, even worse to watch. But if you're playing, it's at least bearable. So at least depending on who you're playing with and whatnot. But I can't recommend it as a game for like, oh yeah, you want to have a good time, you want to have fun? Go play this game. No, don't. Mini putt is much more fun. Get a ladder to get on top, or a stool to get on top of here. There we go. Front canopy support. There we go. And the tires. Which one of you tires did I? There we go. And we are done. Alright, come here, Mr. Gnome. Can you go on here? Ah, that's a shame. I was hoping I could get to, like, be driving this thing. There we go. Close enough. Alright, nice quick job. Easy peasy. Nothing interesting here. Any hidden Easter eggs? Knapsville, best kept garden, 1996. I still wonder if that's a reference to one of these developers' other games or something. Alright, well, that's it for this job. Done. Because I put the gnome in after I cleaned. I won't have that there. Look at the golf cart now. It's almost like the whole thing never happened. You're a genius, Finder. Much obliged. I don't know what you do. Super job on the playground, Dirt Finder. Looking at it now, I'll admit there may have been the odd fleck of dirt here and there. And aren't there just so many colors in this world? Too many, perhaps. Anyway, you've got those bleeding worrywarts off my back, and for that I cannot thank you enough. The park warden's got an issue. Also, not a very good park warden if they don't recognize problems like that. Since that's kind of the job of a park warden, is to go, hey, there's problems, we need a fix. Alright, I'm gonna end this episode here. Next time, I guess... let's see. I don't know. Should I continue this? I don't even know if it's worth continuing this series. Just because... I don't know if this is interesting for you guys. Fun to watch, even. I don't know. Let's get... the stove nozzle so I can actually play with the stoves. Just get all the expansions. There we go. One of those achievements. And not getting this one for a while. One, because we need more stars, and two, because it's 2,000. Cleaning liquids. Oh, and all cleaning liquids at the same time. Yeah. That way we've got 2 of each to work with. Glass, metal, plastic, wood, multi-purpose, and stone. Interesting. It's more diverse than women's shampoo. Sometimes with like, ah yes, you need this you need this shampoo for your scalp, this one for your arms, this one for your legs, everything else. And like, yeah, no, women's shampoo gets ridiculous. Then men's shampoo's like everything. Go. Okay. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think I'll continue doing this, but I'll have to decide on what pace I want to go with. I do want to focus more on some of the others because I still have to do Pacific Drive some more. Gotta finish that. Gotta continue on with Blueprints for sure. So many games. I got some new ones I want to throw at you guys as well. I think you'll enjoy them. But for now, thanks everyone so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, hit subscribe. Keep up with new releases if you haven't done so already. Have a great night. Bye.